Hello everyone, welcome back again. And this time let us start talking with another very critical concept, file permissions and UMask. So when we talk about file permissions, what are these? When you go and check any file details, it would display some information to you like this: the nature of the file and the file access permission. So this part, what you see on the screen, it is called as file access permission. Now, according to this, either someone will gain access to the file or will be restricted from getting access towards this file. So let us understand that what are these file permissions and how we are going to assign them. So file permissions are applied on three levels: owner or user level, group level, or others. Now, owner is someone who has created the file. Like in this case, as root has created the file, so root is the owner and root is the group owner. In Linux, there is a user which is root, and there is also a group that is called as root group. So this file in this case belongs to root as a owner or a user, and root as a group owner of the file. Now, one user can be the owner of the file and one group can be the group owner of the file. But you see, in the system, we have several other users, several other groups that exist in the system. So all those other users, all those other groups will come under the category of others. So you can use owner or user, group owner, and the permissions can be given to rest of the others. And what type of permissions we can apply? You can apply read permission, write permission, and execute permission. Now, what is the effect of read, write, execute on a file and on a directory? If you apply read permission on a file, people can open the file or they can view the content of the file. Same way, if you apply it on a directory, people can list the content inside the directory. They can see how many files and how many directories are present inside it. And if you give write permission, for write permission, people can make changes in the content of the file or even they can delete the file. Same way, on a directory, people can add, delete, rename the content inside the directory. So basically, write permission will give access to the users to make changes in the file or to make changes in the contents of the directory. Lastly, we have execute permission. This will allow people to run the command or shell script. See guys, execute permission on a file is not generally required. Execute permission is required on a file if the file is a special executable file, which is called as scripts. So if your file is a script, so in that case, we require execute permission. Otherwise, we don't need execute permission at all. And in case of directory, it is very important. You cannot enter into the directory if execute permission is not given. So execute permission is really important when it comes to directory, but on the file, it is optional and only needed if the file is a special file that is called as script. Now, how to identify what permissions are assigned? Like in this case, you see there are three permissions, what it is showing, three set of permission. So first set, what you see over here, the first set of permission, 1, 2, and 3. These three permission belongs to user or the owner, which is root. So root can read as well as write the data into this file. Next three permission belongs to group. So group can only do read permission. That means this root, the root group is only allowed to read the thing. It cannot make any changes inside it. The last three permission belongs to others. Others are rest of the other world. All the other users, all the other groups that exist in the system, they are all can read the content and they cannot do anything else apart from that. So every level can get three access: read, write, execute. So in this case, we have given read, write, no execute. Then for group, only read, no write, no execute. And for others, only read again, but no write and no execute. Let us say I wanted to change these permissions. To change the permissions, you can use symbolic method or you can use absolute method. Symbolic method is to use symbols like U for user, G for group, and O for others. So here we use the command chmod to change the permission. Next, you have to give who. Now, who can be U for user, G for group owner, and O for rest of the other world. Plus if you are adding the permission, and minus if you are removing the permission, and equals is to totally change the permission. Let me show you how we can use this option. Let us say that I wanted to assign this set of permission. On any file, I want to apply for user read, write, execute permission. Then I have a group for whom I want to give read and write access, and there is others for whom I want to give only read access, for example. So how I'm going to achieve this concept? To get this, we'll use chmod command again. I'll say chmod for user, I want to give read, write, execute command. Now it's not yet over. I have to give it for group and others also. So I'll use comma. For group, I want to give read and write access. And for others, I want to give read. So you see for user permission, comma, group permission, comma, and for others equals to whatever. On which file? The file name is heart. Now, if you check, the first three permission belongs to root and we have given full permission. Next three permission belongs to group and we have given read and write. And last three permission belongs to others and we have given read permission. Observe one more thing. Earlier, the color of the file was black, but now it is having green. You know why that green color has been added? See if any file have execute permission inside it, either for root or either for a user or a group or other. In any case, if there is an execute permission, the file color will change to green, thinking that it might be a script. Anyway, now let us say that on one level, I wanted to remove the permission, and on the other level, I want to add a permission. Maybe from user, I want to take away execute permission, and for others, I want to add write permission. How to remove a permission from one level and add the permission on the other level? We'll go with chmod from user minus execute permission, comma, and from group, I wanted to plus or add the right permission. On which file? Hard file. So observe here, from the user, earlier there was execute permission, but now it is removed. And for others, earlier there used to be, uh, for group, there used to be a write permission, which is still there. I made a small mistake. I'll say chmod. For others, I wanted to add a permission. Now you just check it out. So you see earlier others was not having write permission. Now it is having write permission. So on one level, you can add something. On the other level, you can remove something. Or if you want the same set of permission to everyone, then you can say chmod ugo for users, groups, and others. I wanted to set the same permission read and execute. On which file? Hard file. So you see user is having read and execute, group is having read and execute, and others are also having read and execute permission. Same way, let us say I wanted to apply full permissions. User to get full access, group to get full access, and others to get full access. To apply full access, you can say chmod ugo, or there is a shortcut A. A represents all users, groups, and others. For all, I want to give read, write, execute, on which file the file name is hard. Now, if you just check it out, you see it is having full permission. Now, if you want to remove all permission, suppose I want a file with no permissions, so you can again say chmod A equals no read, no write, and no execute permission. On which file? Hard file. So if you check, the file does not have a single permission at all over here. So this is the way how you can apply the permission and how you can remove the permission using symbols UGO. Now there is a quick fire method that is called as numeric method. So if you go with numeric method, for example, the numeric method or absolute method, what we use, it uses some numbers. Like read is represented by 4, write is represented by 2, and execute is represented by 1. So 4 for read, 2 for write, and 1 for execute. Suppose I wanted to give this permission. So how I'm going to attach it? You need to put 4 for read, 2 for write, and 1 for execute. Now if you add it, 4 plus 2 plus 1, what it becomes? It becomes 7. Then read and write, 4, 2, add it. 4 plus 2, it becomes 6. Only read permission if you want. There's no calculation required. It's just a 4. So what's the number I got? 764. Let me use that number. I'll say chmod 764. So first number for user, second number for group, and third position is for others. On which file? The file name is hard. If you just check out the detail, you see for user, we've got read, write, execute. For group, read, write, and for the others, read. So quick fire in a fast pace, if you want to apply the permission, then going with numeric method would be a very, very great idea. Same way, if you wanted to give full permissions or any other modification, suppose here I want read and execute permission. So read is 4, execute will be 1. 4 plus 1, it becomes 5. Suppose in the second level, I want read and write, so same. In the third level, I want write and execute. So in this case, I'll be going with 2 plus 1. That would become 3. So what's the number I'll be getting here? 5, 6, 3. Use this. I'll say chmod 5, 6, and 3 on hard file. Now, if you check the detail, read and execute for user, read write for group, and write and execute for other. So this is the way how you can change the permission using numbers. If you want to assign full permission, then you can say 777. 7 for user, 7 for group, and 7 for others. On which file? The file name is hard file. Now, if you just check it out, the detail, you see full permission has been assigned. So this is the way how we can apply full permission. If you want, you can remove all the permission 0, 0, 0, and you see it's going to remove. If you just check it out, all the permissions have been removed. Now, let's say, guys, I create one file. Let us say, just randomly, I'm going to create one file with the name called um, Apple, for example. If you just check the details about Apple, you see by default the file is created and it got some permission. Now my question is, who have assigned this permission? I never told to assign this permission, haven't I? I just say create a file, it created the file. But how come the file got automatic permission. This is called default permission. And default permission will be assigned by using a concept called UMask. UMask actually stands for Unix File Creation Mask. It's a 4-digit code that is going to apply default permission. So let me check it out and show you how these things will be working. See guys, when you run umask command, it gives you some number 0022. In this case, I'll request you to ignore the first digit and concentrate the last 3 digits. Let's calculate that how this fellow is giving us the file permission. So let us calculate default file permission. What is the maximum permission you can apply on any file? 777. 7 for user, 7 for group, and 7 for other. Now, in this case, there is a rule in Unix and Linux that no file can get by default execute permission, and there is a reason for it. See, execute permission on a file is not generally required. It is required when you are creating a script. And whenever you create a script manually, you have to give execute permission. So execute permission is not allowed by default on a file. So what are the other permissions I'll be getting now? If I remove execute permission, it becomes 6, 6, and 6. Now from that 6 value, if you minus the umask value, that is 0, 2, and 2. So what is the answer you're going to get? See, in this case, 6 minus 0 will be 6, 6 minus 2 will be 4, 6 minus 2 will again be 4. Now, if you open it up, let us say I want to open it up. So I'm going to say 6 can be written as 4 plus 2. Now you can argue me saying that 6 can be 3 plus 3 also. But guys, here are the three basic numbers only on which you have to open it up. 4, 2, and 1. You cannot use any other number. So 6 to be open will be 4 plus 2 only, where 4 stands for read and 2 stands for write. And again, there is a 4 that is read. One more time, there is a 4 that is read. So what's the permission I'm getting? Read, write, read, and read. Now, if you go back and check the apples detail, you will find out that it is read, write for user, read for group, and read for other. It is the same thing what you're calculated. The same place if you want to calculate the default directory permission. So what it would be, let's calculate it. So this time I'll go for default directory permission. So in this case, maximum permission allowable is 777 and directly you can minus 022. See, in this case, there is no rule that directory should not get execute permission. In case of directory, execute permission is very important. Without giving execute permission, it is not possible for you to go into the directory. So execute permission is required in this case. Now, if you calculate it, 7 minus 0 will be 7. 7 minus 2 will be 5, and 7 minus 2 again will be 5. Now, if you open it up, 7, you can write 4 plus 2 plus 1. So that would be read, write, and execute. Then there is a 5, which we have to open 4 plus 1. That would be read and execute. Again, there is a 5, so you have to again write 4 plus 1. That would become read and execute. So what is the permission you are getting over calculation? Read, write, execute, and read, execute. Now, if I create a directory, mkdir, for example, red, if you just check ls-ld red, so you will find that here it is going to get this permission. Read, write, execute, read and execute, read and execute, exactly what you have calculated. Now guys, if you want, you can change the umask value, but it's not recommended in all the cases to change the umask value. Suppose the umask value is 022, you can make it 0 044, something of your choice. So it will work with that. But I don't recommend changing the UMask. You can just calculate the same way how we have calculated previously to find out what permission 044 will give you. So I'll play with UMask value and I'll bring it back again to the default value. So this is how we work with this particular concept. And this is all about your basic commands. In the next video, we are going to start with some important advanced level commands to be used in Linux, different Linuxes, in fact, like Red Hat or Ubuntu, etc. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope to see you soon in the next video. Everyone, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, as per your time zones and locations. So welcome again to this series, and in this series, we are now going to talk about another chapter, that is users and group administration, which is very important for any platform of Linux usage you are doing. Whether you are working for direct Linux administration or you might be using it with DevOps or any other platform, this concept is going to be very important. So in this chapter, we are going to talk about users, types of users, password complexity requirements, creating, modifying, and deleting a user. Then we are going to talk about what is a group, types of group, creating, modifying, and deleting group, adding, removing users into the group. So let's start with that. Now, what exactly is a user? As you know, user is someone who uses or operates the resources of the system. I can call it as an agent. By using the user, you can log in into the system, you can explore the system, and you can access the resources of your system. Whenever you are trying to log in into the system, it requires you to give username and password. Without going this authentication, you will not be allowed to log in into the system. And the user informations are stored in a file called etc password. What information does it store? Generally, it has your important user ID. Every user gets a unique identity, which is called as user ID. And the user's password is kept in another file, that is etc shadow. And here the password is available in encrypted form. And whenever a user login, the user requires to go in his home directory. So every user will get their personal directory, which we have learned in our first class of architecture and file system hierarchy. And every user will also get a program through which they can run commands and communicate with kernel, that is called as shell. Now let's see what are the user hierarchy do we have. The topmost user in Unix or Linux is called as superuser. And one and only example of superuser is root user. Root is the most powerful user that you have in Unix and Linux operating system. And the user ID always reserved for root is 0. 0 as a user ID and 0 as a group ID, and the home directory of root will be /root. So whenever you log in into Linux environment using root, you will be automatically taken into /root as it is the home directory. And root uses a very common shell called bash shell. See, bash shell is one of the most easiest, user-friendly, and also the most advanced shell what you can get in Linux environment. Every regular type of users will be using this shell only. Then the next important users are system users. See, system users are nothing but the important services or system related users that is required to run some important system applications like FTP, SSH, Apache, Nobody. These are few of the examples of system users. And the ID reserved for system users are between 1 to 999. So if you find any user between 1 to 999, that means that is your system user. And the home directory reserved for system users are different to every application. FTP have a separate directory, Apache has a separate directory, DNS has a separate directory. But you see, all of them has a very common thing that is called as sbin no login. Now this shell prevents system users from login into the system. Now these users are available, but they are only available for internal usage. If you try to log in with FTP, SSH, nobody, it won't allow you to log in even though you have set a password. The reason is every system user will have a no login shell that prevents them from login. Then the last type of user what we have is a normal user, which is very ordinary set of user. Now it can be any user with your name, my name, etc. And the IDs reserved for them is 1000 to 60,000, the user ID and the group ID. And the home directory for every user will be /home and the username. Suppose you have a user Musab, so you will get the home directory /home Musab. Suppose you have a user with the name Srinivas, so you will have /home Srinivas, like that. And all the normal users will have a shell, bash shell, that will be given to every regular type of user in Linux. Now, let us see that how we can find the details about the users. So I am on my CentOS machine, which we are using for this practical. So this is CentOS 8 on which we are working since the beginning. Now here, if you wanted to view the user information, then you can go to a file, etc password. Now etc password contains user information like username, link to the password file, shadow file that contains the real password. First zero is a user ID and second zero is a primary group ID. Now what is exactly primary group ID? In a short while, we are going to study that also. Root is a GCOS or comment that gives information about that user. Suppose there is a user you wanted to call it with different name, like he's a manager or TL or he's from admin department. So for that, you can use this comment. The home directory for this user is /root and the shell what this fellow is using is bash shell. Now, if you want to view the recently added user, you can go to the bottom of the file and here you will find out recently created user that exists in the system and their details. Now, let us say that I would like to add few more user, or before that, if you wanted to view the shadow information like the password. See, first of all, etc shadow is not accessible by everyone. As you see, this file does not have any permission. This means this cannot be accessed by everyone. Only root can access it. The other users will not be able to access it, right? So only root can access this file. So who am I? I'm root. So as a root, I can actually go to etc shadow and I can view this. So it shows you that what are the users that are available and what are their password. Now, even after you are seeing what exactly is the password here, you cannot guess the real password because it is protected by encryption. Now let us say I wanted to add a new user. To create a user with all default options, you have a command user add, but you can use some options as well. I'll show you the options in a short while. Let's create one user with a name called John. So I'll say user add and the username. And if you just go back and look into the bottom of this file, you'll find that John user has been created with default user ID and default group ID. Now let us say I wanted to add one more user, and this time the user I wanted to give my choice things, like I wanted to give my choice user ID, I wanted to give a comment, and I wanted to give a different shell. So you can use all these options to set different attributes like U for user ID, capital G for secondary group ID, small g for primary group ID, and D for home directory, C for comment, and S for providing shell. Now you see, you can go like this: user add, username, options, or you can go with user add, options, username. Any way you like, you can use it and you can create a user. Now let us say I wanted to create a user with the name called Ali. And this user, I wanted to give my choice user ID, my choice comment, and I also wanted to give my choice shells. To view how many shells you have, you can visit a file etc shells. This will tell you how many shells you have. So we have a standard shell and we have something called a bash shell. Now let us say that I would like to give this user a standard shell. So you see, how can I create a user with my choice things? So I'll say user add, and I would like to add a user with my choice user ID 1100, and or maybe I want 1050, for example. And I also want to give a command with a name called manager, for example. And also, I want a shell to be given bin sh. Observe over here, I have used the full path. I just did not mention sh. I used the complete path. Many people make mistakes that only give sh or bash, and they complain that the user is not getting the shell. So please use the complete path to get that shell. Finally, you can mention the username what you want. So this time, a user is created with your choice attributes. So if you see, we have early user with my choice user ID and group ID, my choice command, and my choice shell. So this is the way you can create a user. Not only you can create a user, but if you'd like to modify, you can modify it also as per your requirement. Options are going to be same. Instead of user add, this time you have to say user mod. Suppose I wanted to change the user ID to 1060, for example, and I want to change the comment to admin like this. And I wanted to change the shell to the regular one, bin bash. For which user? Ali user. Now, if you go back and view, you see Ali user is here with my choice ID. As I did not mention to change the group ID did not get affected. But your choice ID has been modified, the comment or gcos value has also been changed, and the shell is back to bash. But you see, these users are created, but they don't have a password. Neither John nor Ali, no one has a password. Now let us say I wanted to add a password for John. See, to assign the password for any user, as a root, you can set a password, and to set a password, you can go with the command passwd followed by username. So when you say passwd and username, this will allow root user to change the password. So let me come back and I'll say passwd. I wanted to change the password for John. Now you can keep any password, whatever you like. For example, I'm going to keep a password as my user, something. One more time, my user. Now, if you go back and check in etc shadow, you'll find out that these user got their password. So John user has now got a password. Same like that, I wanted to give a password for Ali user. So let me go and assign the password. I'll say password Ali, and you can set any password twice. See, I have kept the password as red, but if you go and view etc shadow, you see such a big line is available, you cannot even guess exactly what is the password. So this is the encryption, what it is doing. Now, how to know which encryption is being used? So you can run password -s and any username. So here it tells you that you are using SHA-512 encryption. This is the default encryption what Linux uses to protect the user identity. Now you can log in as the user and you can check the details about that user. So once you have logged in, you can say ID command. This will display what is your user ID, what is your group ID, and in how many groups you are participating. Now, the thing what I really wanted you to know is when a user tries to change his own password. See, as a root, when I tried to change the password, it was way simple. You just run password LE, you have given a new password, and you have retyped the password. It did. Now, as Ali, if you try to change your own password, you cannot type your own name. If you want to change your own password, you just need to say passwd command. That's it. And as a security, you need to give your current password. So let me give my current password, and now you can give a new password. Suppose I'll try to give a password like Musab1234. Now you see it fails. It says it's too simplistic password. See, this is something called password complexity requirement. As a root, when you are trying to change a password for someone, you don't need to go with any complexities. Even one letter password you can keep. But as a user, when the user is trying to change his or her own password, the user must have a password at least 8 characters long. And second thing, it must have some alphabets, some numbers, and if you can add some special characters that would give a good meaning. For example, if I want to keep the password something like this, Musab@391. Now you see this is more than 8 characters. It has alphabets, it has numbers, and it has some special character also. So let me try out this password. Let me run passwd first and let me give my current password. Then the new password musab@391. One more time musab@391 and you see my password has been successfully updated. So this is the way a normal user is allowed to change his own password. One more thing is there guys. Let us say you have logged in as one user. Maybe again I'll log in as Ali and let me log in with my new password and I want to switch myself to some other user. To convert yourself to other user, we have an option SU, switch user, and you can say switch myself to John. Now you must know the password of John. If you type the correct password for John, for example, as I know the password, you see I'm able to convert myself to John. If I don't know the password, it won't allow me to switch to the other user. So this is called switching the user. So we have learned how to create a user, how to modify the user, and if you wanted to delete a user, how to delete a user. For example, I have a user over here called Ali. And if I want to remove Ali, you have to say user del and the username. Now this will delete a user for sure. But if you just check it out, tail etc password, the name of Ali has been removed. But if you look into a home directory, you see Ali's home directory is still there. And also guys, every user you are adding will get a mailbox. So if you look in where, spool, and mail, you'll find the mailbox. Say two users can exchange emails. To exchange the emails, we need a mailboxes. So all users' mailboxes are stored in where's full mail. So you see the mailbox are still there. Now in this situation, if you don't want any leftover, if you don't want any mess up, then you have to clean it manually. You have to go to where's full mail, and over here you have to remove the file of Ali. Then come to home directory, and over here remove the home directory of Ali. Now you see how tedious it is. Every time you're deleting a user, you need to clean the home directory, you need to clean the mailbox. Now this is the way I don't really want to work. So in that case, what I wanted to do is I want to remove the home directory and mailbox together. So you have a command userdel, and there is an option -r. R for remove. What remove? Remove home directory and the mailbox together. So whenever you're planning to delete a user, you can say userdel -r and the username. Now, if you look tail etc password, there is no John name user. If you go into home directory, there is no mail home directory for John. And if you look in var spool mail, you'll not find John's mailbox also. So this is a proper cleaning of a user. Now guys, this is with respect to Red Hat, CentOS, Alma Linux, Rocky Linux, or Amazon Linux or Oracle Linux. Now, if you're working with Ubuntu, for example, now there also the commands are absolutely same. You can use the same thing what we have done. But when you goes to Ubuntu, there is one more option what you can use. See, in Ubuntu, you cannot work directly as a normal user. See, root login is disabled. So if you try to log in as root, it will fail. So you need to log in as a normal user. Like in this case, while installing, I added myself as Musab user. Now, as Musab user, if I wanted to convert into root user so that I can get root powers, so you can say sudo. See, with respect to sudo, you can run any command, but it will ask you to give the password of Musab. So as I know the password, let me type the password so it will work. Now, let us say I don't want to use that sudo all the time. I just wanted to run the command directly. So in that case, what I can do is I can switch myself into root. So when you run sudo su hyphen, you will be converted to root access. So for security reason in Ubuntu, you wouldn't be getting the direct root access. You need to create a normal user, then you have to convert into root user. Now here also, if you wanted to add a user, the same thing you can do what we have learned. For example, I wanted to create a new user, so I'll say user add, and I'll say Sam. If you go and check EDC password, the SAM user is created absolutely the same way how we have done previously in CentOS. Now, if you look in tail etc shadow, you'll find that SAM user is added but without any password. Now, if you want, you can set a password here for SAM and you can keep whatever password you want. But there is one more option what you can use for going into a very detailed option, that is add user. See, you can run add user and you can give so many things inside it, right? Like you can say add user, and I wanted to add a user with the name called Tony. Now it will ask you so many details. It says user is added, group is added, everything is done. And here it is asking you, would you like to assign the password also? I'll say yes, go ahead with that. So let me set up a password as well. Now it is asking you what you wanted to give the detail. So you can say, what is the name of this fellow? What is the room number, right? If you have any such details that you want to give, you can give it, or just leave it blank if you don't want to continue. Lastly, it says, is this information correct? I'll say, yes, it's correct. Now, if you go and check it out, tail etc password, you see Tony is added with so much details over here. So same thing is applicable for deleting a user. You can say user del -r and Tony. So this is going to delete the user, but it says there was no mailbox for this user, so I did not delete the mailbox. That's fine. So this is how we can work with Ubuntu. So here I'm working on Ubuntu. As you see, this is an Ubuntu 22 version on which I was working. So this is the way you can go for user administration. The same way if you wanted to go for group. You see, group is nothing but a collection of users. Whenever you have different departments, different teams, different projects on which you are working, so we form a group to put all the related members at one place for ease of identification, and the exchange of information between group members should also become easier. So generally, group is a collection of users. Now we have two types of group. One is a primary group and the other one is a secondary group. See, primary group is automatically created the moment you're adding a user. For example, I will now add a user with the name called Gilani, for example. So when I hit enter, you go and check it out, tail etc password, and you see Gilani user is added with user ID and group ID. Now, whose group ID it is? What is the name of that group? So if you go to another file here, etc group. See, etc group is a file that contains the information about groups. So if you look out over here, there is a member called Gilani. Now this is a group name. So the moment you added a user with the same name and most probably the same ID, a group will also be created. So at the time of creation of user, automatically a group will also be added that is called as primary group. Now, what is the role of primary group? Why do we need that group? For example, I have a user here with the name my user. Let me log in as my user, and you see when my user create a file, automatically my user will become the owner of the file and his primary group will occupy the group permission. So primary group is used to take the group permission of a file and directory whenever you create it, right? Now, with respect to primary group, a user can take part into so many other groups, but those will be called as secondary group. So secondary group is actually used to add many members at one place, and they can share the same permissions, and they can be identified easily that they are part of this group. So every user is a part of at least one group, and it will be a part of so many other groups. So one private personal group, and with respect to that, a user can be taking part into so many other groups that is called as secondary group. Now let us see how we can create a group over here. To create a group, you can use a command group add, and you can say add a group with a name called um, tem GRP, whatever the name your choice is. Now, if you go to tail etc group, you'll find that there is a group added over here with the name called tem GRP. Now, same way, I would like to add one more group, and this group I wanted to give my choice ID. I don't want it to take the default ID. So in that case, I'll say group add with my choice group ID 1101. Add a group with the name SAPGRP. So this time you see a group has been added with my choice ID. So whatever I like, it has given that. Now, if you wanted to modify the group, maybe I just wanted to change the name of that group. So you can say um, group mod, change the name to Team GRP for the current name Tem GRP. So I'm telling group mod, change the name to Team GRP for an existing group, which is Tem GRP. Now, if you go back and check it out, you'll find out that earlier there used to be Tem GRP, which is now changed to Theme GRP with my choice name. Now, if you don't like the group ID and you want to modify the group ID, you can say group mod, change the group ID to 1102. For which group? Team GRP. So this is the way how you can create a group and you can modify the group. But you see this group is empty. It does not have any users inside it. Now, whether you are using CentOS, Ubuntu, anyone, the command is absolutely same. So we have a command with the name called gpassword options arguments, and the group name. What are the options? Hyphen capital M for adding multiple users to a group. Hyphen small a for adding just a single member. Hyphen capital A for adding group administrator. Hyphen D for removing a user from the group. So let's learn that how to work with that. So let me first start by adding multiple members into the group. Like you see, I have 3, 4, 5 users. Maybe I wanted to add U1, U2, U3, all the three, or maybe my users U1, U2, U3, 4 members I want to add into this group. To add it, I'll say G password hyphen capital M. I would like to add my user, comma, U1, comma, U2, comma, U3. In which group? The group I wanted to use is Team GRP. Now, if you go back and check it out in ETC group, you'll find Team GRP is having these many members. Now, if you like the same members, you can add in the other group also. So a user can have multiple secondary group. We can only have one primary group, but a user can have multiple secondary group. Same members will be in SAP GRP, same members will be in Team GRP. It's up to you. No, I would like to just add Jelani into this group. How can I add just one member? To add only a single member, you have to use gpassword hyphen small a. Capital M for multiple members, small a for just one member, into which group? Team GRP. Now, if you go back and look it out, see Jelani is also added. Now, if you want to remove the member from this group, then you can say G password hyphen D. D is actually for deleting. It does not literally delete the user. It just removes the user from the group. So I'll say G password hyphen D, delete a user Jilani from team GRP. Now, if you go back and check it out, you'll see that Jilani is out of that group. Now, you see, to do this activity, I need to log in as root and I need to do this activity. Will it not be a great idea that one member, we give this responsibility to add and remove members into the group? Like in today's time, we use WhatsApp groups, guys. In WhatsApp groups, we have admins who can add, remove members into the group. So same way, I would like to make one member as an administrator. Suppose, let me log in as my user, and let me give a password as my user. If I say gpassword add Jilani in the group team GRP, it says permission denied because this user is not a group administrator. Now let us say if I want to make an admin. First of all, how to know, do I already have an administrator with this name? Please visit a file etc gshadow. See, etc shadow keeps user password, etc gshadow keeps group password. Now the concept of group password is not used much, so I don't wanted to even talk about it. But there is a file that keeps the group password. This file is also important for group admin. You see, I have a group without any password and there is an empty field followed by the username. So this empty field is the group administrator field. So as this group does not have any admin, so root has to manage it. Now once you make admins, then those members can manage it. So let us say G password hyphen capital A. I want to make my user and U2 2 members as an admin, 3 members as an admin, or you can just keep 1 member as an admin for team GRP. Now, if you go back and look it out, my username is repeated twice, so this fellow has become a group admin. Now, if I go back and repeat the command, see last time permission was denied, but now when I hit enter, you see it's working. And if you go back and look it out into group, you'll find that Jelani is added successfully. Now, if I again wanted to remove some other user, so I can say gpassword -d, remove u3 from team GRP. So this is the way a normal user can be added as a group admin, and you can play with that things. Now, finally, if you wanted to delete a group, what to be done? See, to delete a group, you have to go with the command groupdel and the group name, that is Team GRP. Now, Team GRP has 3-4 members inside it. What would happen to the members when you delete a group? Very frequently asked question in interviews as well, that when you delete a group, what happens to the members inside it? Are they deleted also? Yes and no, both. What do you mean by that? See, when you delete a group, the users inside it will be deleted from the group, but they are not deleted from the system. That means they are removed from the group, but they are not deleted from the system. So first it removes the member from the group, and finally it is going to destroy the group. So you see when I hit enter, go back to etc group, and you see the group is deleted, but still those members are available, as only the group got deleted but the members are still there. The same way, if you want, you can delete SAP GRP and other groups also. So this is it, guys, for this session where we have learned how to deal with users and group administration. Hope you have learned a lot good thing this time. See you in the next video where we are going to talk about some more interesting topics. Thank you very much, guys. Have a nice day. See you soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Gotham Digital Learning Linux tutorials. And here we are going to learn with one more very important concept that is needed for most of the tools Linux installation. Whether you are working for a Linux administration or if you're working even on DevOps and other things, you're required to know how to install and manage the softwares. So in this, I'm going to take you a little deep dive to explain you how the things are going to work with Red Hat environment and Ubuntu, as these are two very important Linux we have to understand. So as you see, the software management deals across installing, uninstalling, querying, updating softwares. To do that, especially in Red Hat, we have two important utilities. One is RPM and the other one is YUM. And in Ubuntu, it uses apt-get. So working with apt-get is going to give you the softwares. So let's go ahead and let's learn about RPM. So RPM itself is a package manager, and RPM itself is a tool that will install, uninstall, query, update the software. And also what actually I was trying to say is RPM is also a software. You see, like in Windows, you have all the softwares available in exe format. In Red Hat, most of the software will be available with an extension .rpm, and they would be available in generally two formats: x86 64-bit architecture, and the other one is no arg. No arg means it does not require any specific hardware architecture. It can work with any architecture that you have. So let us see how we can deal with RPM. We'll learn here a very simple and regular things that works in RPM. So I'm logging into my Ubuntu machine. I'm logging into my CentOS machine, and over here I'm going to show you that how the things will working in CentOS. So when it comes to CentOS or RP Red Hat, if you wanted to view how many softwares are available, then you can go for RPM-QA, where Q stands for query and A stands for all. Now this is going to list out all the softwares that are currently installed in your machine. So you see some of them are having x86-64 architecture and the other one is no arc. So generally it is explaining over here that what is the version of the software and is it supported on Red Hat 8 or CentOS 8 version or Red Hat 7 or Red Hat 6 version. So this describes for which operating system version this software is available. Now let us say I don't want it to view all the software. I just wanted to see one software is installed or not with the name Firefox. So you can say RPM, just query a single package with the name Firefox. So it must show you whether Firefox is available or not. Let us say I know the initial name of a package, but I don't know the remaining name. Or maybe I wanted to view all the packages that starts with a word open. So you can say RPM-QA open star. So when I hit enter, you see it is going to show you all the packages that starts with a word open, right? Now, let us say I would like to install a new package. See, to install a package, first you have to download the package from internet and then you can use it. Or there is one more thing what you can do as I have installed my OS on Oracle VirtualBox. I can just right click on my VirtualBox. I can go to settings and I can make sure that DVD is connected. See the ISO image what we have downloaded and installed a software that contains itself so many software. So I have just connected the CentOS DVD. I'll say OK. And once you have connected, you need to mount the DVD on a directory. See, to mount external media, we have media directory that I'm going to use here. So I'm going to say mount dev sr0. See, dev sr0 is the name for your DVD. So I'm telling that connect, mount is nothing but connecting. Connect that DVD to media folder. See, you cannot directly go into sr0. If you try to go, for example, I'll say cat dev sr0, it's see going mad. So over here, we cannot go into a DVD or partition or a hard drive directly. So instead of that, we take a directory's help. So I'll say connect dev sr0 to media folder. Now, if you run just mount command, it tells you that dev sr0 is connected to media. That means when you go to media, you're actually viewing this fellow, right? So let me go into media folder, and here you can see the content of your DVD. And here you can find AppStream and base OS packages. See, AppStream contains all the third-party software, and base OS contains the operating system packages. So if you go into base OS, you'll find a packages folder. Let us go into packages folder and you can find so many softwares that are available. Let us say I would like to install a package with the name ZSH. How can I install it? First of all, let me check. Do I have ZSH installed? It says no, it is not yet installed. So I'll say RPM hyphen IVH, where I stands for install, V to display the verbose output, and H will show you the progress in hashes, 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, like that it will show you up to 100%. And which package you want to install, ZSH. Now when I hit enter, you see it is going to install that package. So this is the way how you can install the package. Now, if you fear, guys, that whether the package installation would be successful or not, then you can also use RPM-IVH and you can say test. So when you say test before installation or after installation, it would preview how the installation would go. But anyway, in our case, it got installed successfully. We were fortunate about it. Now, let us say you have a software installed with the version 5.5.1.9. Now, I'm already into the packages folder, and here I have a ZSH software available. You see, it is in the same version. Normally, you see when the softwares are installed, after a couple of time, there will be new version available. Like I'm using 5.5.1, but maybe a newer version available 5.5.2 or 5.5.1.10, something like that. So if you have downloaded the latest software and you want to upgrade it, then you can say rpm-uvh. IVH for installation, UVH for upgradation. What's the package name? ZSH. But this must be the newer version. In our case, the same version is installed, so it would return a message that the same version is installed, nothing can be done. So anyway, this is the way you can install the package. To install the package, you must go to the location where you have downloaded the package and you can run this command. To remove the package, there is no location required. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter. You can just run the command rpm-evh, where E stands for erase. And what is the package that you want to erase? SSH or ZSH, I'm sorry. You can do a preview to see whether an installation would be successful or will it be having any problems. So as you see, the test is fine. You can go ahead and remove the package successfully now. So this is the way you can use RPM command to install a package, to um, uninstall the package and all that thing. Now, same things we can do with our one more utility that is called yum, or now it is called as DNF, dandified yum. Now, what is yum? Why do we need yum? See, yum can also do the same activities of installing the package, uninstalling the package, or getting information about the package, all those things what we have seen with RPM. But sometimes when you are installing a package, this package requires a dependent software. Like if you go with Windows, if you want to install Microsoft Office, it requires first .NET Framework to be installed. If .NET Framework is not pre-installed, then your package, the Office, is not going to get installed. So framework will become a dependency for uh, Office. To install Office, I need to install .NET Framework. Same way in Linux also, to install a package, sometimes it needs first other package to be installed. So in RPM, if there are a dependency requirement, you need to search the package, you need to download the package, you need to resolve dependencies, and then the final package will get installed. And lots of headache would be there. To overcome this big problem, DNF yum has been introduced. So what yum does, it searches the dependencies, it resolves the dependencies, and it is going to install the dependencies on its own. And also this DNF or yum works in server and client architecture. See, what Red Hat does, I'll tell you. Red Hat has a centralized repository where they are going to keep their software, right? So over here, you will be having all the softwares available, right? We generally call it as CDN, Content Delivery Network of Red Hat, right? Where all the softwares are kept. So the place where all softwares are dumped is called as repository. So you can make your own repository if you want, but if you go with Red Hat's repository or CentOS repository, they are more trustable repositories. Now, whenever the client requires any kind of package, they'll automatically contact to the server. Now it can be on the internet or it can be a local server. It contacts to the server, and from the server they'll get the software. So you don't have to worry about maintaining a DVD with you or CD or downloading the packages manually. Just when you install, especially when you go with CentOS, it comes with pre-configured repositories on internet. So just you need to run yum or dnf command, and they are going to connect and get the package. But to do so, you requires internet connection on your CentOS or Red Hat or any other Linux machine. Now, how am I going to get internet? See, as of now, if I check it out and if I show you over here, if I say ping www.google.com, it says what? I don't know it. See guys, we need an extra adapter that would be connecting to internet. Normally, this kind of activities will be done with your virtualization experts who know how to deal with these things. But as in our curriculum, as of now, how we are working, I'll show you how can we get internet. See here, I have assigned a single adapter, and this adapter is helping me to work over the network and connect from other machine. Now I don't want to disturb it. I want one more adapter over here that can connect to internet. So what I'll do, I'll enable one more adapter, and this adapter, see the old adapter what we have created, if you see my previous videos, you'll know at the time of installation we created one adapter and we have given it something called let me show you. Here we have given it host only adapter. If I take you to the settings, in the settings you can go to network, and first adapter is enabled, and we have used it as a host only adapter. So this host only adapter will keep our local communication properly. Now the new adapter what I'm going to enable, I'm going to put it as NAT adapter. So NAT adapter will allow us to communicate with internet world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enable one more adapter with NAT network so that we can get proper internet also. But there is a drawback with Oracle VirtualBox that you cannot enable or attach one more adapter without shutting down the system. Now this is something a little painful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down this machine. Let me run power off command. Now it will take a little while and then your virtual machine will get shut down. So you see it is powered off. Now go to settings. In the settings, go to network. In network, choose adapter 2 and you can say enable network adapter. And this time I'm going to change it to NAT. Let me say OK. Now you power on the machine. Let us give it some time. Let's give it a while to boot. And once the booting is finished, then we are going to log in and we are going to see the internet is available or not. The same thing I have also done in our Ubuntu machine. I have connected two adapters for a local communication and the other adapter for internet communication. So let us give it some time. Oh, as we have kept the first boot device as DVD, it is going to boot with DVD. Let me do one thing, guys. Give me a second. Let me just power off the machine. Let's go to settings. The first boot device I have kept as DVD, and we have also connected DVD, so it's booting with DVD. Let me put it down the order. And let's now power it on. So this time the system will boot with your hard drive, not with the DVD. Let's give it a little while to boot. Okay, the system is booting up. Let's give it a while. Okay, so we've almost booted. Let's log in with a new putty session. So I'm going to log in. I've already saved my sessions. Let me load it and connect it. Let me log in as root user. Now, if you say NMCLI dev status. You see ENP0S3 is our local communicator and I have ENP0S8 which is disconnected. Now you need to just connect it NMCLI dev connect ENP0S8. That's it. Nothing else to be done. And if you run ifconfig, you can see that ENP0S3 has one IP, ENP0S8 got some automatic IP. Now, if I say ping www.google.com and you see the internet is available. So this is the way you can get an internet in your Oracle VirtualBox. Now, if I show you one location, etc yum.repository. See, this is the location where the repository configuration files are kept. Now, these files are nothing but the addresses of your repositories over the internet. So it is telling the client that from where you can get the software. So these are called as repo configuration file. Let me just get rid of that. Right. So as the repo configuration files are ready, now if you say yum, or you can say DNF. Till Red Hat 7, we used to have yum command. From Red Hat 8 or CentOS 8, yum has been replaced to DNF. So if you say earlier, we used to say yum repo list. Now this will list out how many repositories you have. Now from Red Hat 8, we say DNF repo list. See, commands are same, just the options are same, just the command has been changed. Earlier it was yum, now it is DNF. In fact, here still yum command is working. How it is working? If you just ask a question, what is yum? It says that yum commands are now redirected to DNF. That means you run yum, it will convert it into DNF. Like that, this thing is going to work out. Okay, now to list all the softwares that you have in your repositories, you can say yum or DNF list. When you hit enter, it is going to show you all the software. See here, actually, for the first time, it is going to connect to all the repositories that we have, and then it is going to list out the things, all the software that you have. For the first time, whenever you are using yum or DNF, you need to have some patience till it search and give you the output. So many repositories it is going to connect over the internet, and this is a time-taking affair. It is not going to be so quick. So let's give it some time. It may take up to 5 minutes also. So let's patiently wait for it. Observe, it is also giving you AppStream and base OS, that is the important OS repositories. Other than that, there will be some extra repositories what it is going to connect. Let's give it some time. And now you see it has given you so many packages, and it is also telling you from which repository it is coming. So for the first time, it will take that long time, and then you can ask a question, it will work normally. You can also list all the installed packages. So this will show you all the packages that is right now installed in your machine. So the command is yum list installed, or now dnf list installed. Now let us say you are searching for a package. So you can use yum list and ask for a package. Like maybe I'm looking for something called ZSH. So it is going to list out and tell you whether the package is available or not. Now this is going to search the package in different repositories, and it is going to tell you that yes, it is available. It's not yet installed, it is available. But if you ask for a package which is already installed, so this time it is going to display as the package is installed. It won't be displaying as available. See, it says it is installed and the new version is available. This version is installed and this version is available. So I'll show you how to update that package also. Now let us say I want to install ZSH. So you can say yum or dnf install ZSH. Now when I hit enter, it is going to continue and try to download the package, and then it would tell me that this is the detail, would you like to go for it. See, first it will check for dependencies and resolve the dependencies. As there are no dependencies, it says there's only ZSH, this is the architecture, this is the version, from this repository it is coming, do you really want to proceed? Now you have to say Y for yes and N for no. Let us say you want to install all the packages that starts with the name ZSH. So you can say DNF or yum install ZSH star. This time it is going to search for all the packages that starts with the name ZSH, and it tells you these two are available. Would you like to continue? So you can say yes to continue, no, N. Now let's say I really want to install ZSH, but I don't want it to ask me a question, yes or no. I'm sure about it, so I want yes as my pre-approved answer. So this time I'm giving yes as my answer, so it is going to continue install the software without stopping. So first you see it has downloaded the package, and now it has installed the package. Now, sometimes, guys, a package might get installed and it may not function properly. So if you wanted to remove it, now if I say yum list ZSH, you see this time it will be in the installed list, right? Now, if the package is misbehaving and you want to reinstall it, so you can say yum or dnf reinstall. See, I'm showing you yum and dnf both names so that if you're working on older version or newer version, both you may be able to handle. And which package? ZSH. And the answer is yes. Go ahead. See, although the package is installed, this is going to make it reinstall one more time to fix any issues with your package. Now, if you wanted to remove the package, maybe I don't really need the package. See, this time it is reinstalling the package. Done. Okay. Now, if you want to remove the package, you can say yum or dnf remove the package. That is the sh. Are you sure? Yes. And you see the package is removed. Same way, if you wanted to update the package, as we saw, DNF list Firefox. So it told us that there is a version installed Firefox, and there is a latest version available over the internet. So you see I have Firefox, that is one package installed, and there is an available package which is there. So if you want to update a specific package, you can say DNF update Firefox. Do you really want to go for it? Yes. So this time it is going to update the Firefox for the latest level. And I'll show you one more very important option as of now that we use a lot in most of the Linux machines while we are working with DevOps and all, like updating the complete system. Now, if you wanted to update the whole softwares to the latest level, like sometimes you might be using a version 8.6. Now, there is a new version available, 8.7, the Red Hat operating system level. So if you want to jump from 8.6 to 8.7, or you want all the latest softwares to be available, so in that case, you can go for updating the whole system. So all the softwares that are available are going to get updated and you'll get all latest versions available. So let me show you how to do that once this fellow is finished. So a new version has been updated, 9112.02. So it is now upgrading it. It's taking quite a long time, but we have to show some patience over here. Now you see, if I update the whole system, how much time it is going to take. All right, the system is up to date. Now, let us say I wanted to update the whole system. So you can say DNF update. That's it. When I hit enter, it will search for the whole repository for each and every software installed in my system, and it is going to get update. Now, if you want to confirm, you also need to give -y. But again, guys, when you are updating the whole server or the whole system, it is going to take a very long time. So you see, it is telling us that this is going to take a long time to get updated. 376 packages are going to get updated, and separately 5 packages are going to get installed. So many things it is going to use, and this is going to take a time. So I don't really want it to wait that long. I'm aborting it. But this is the way how you can deal with Yum also. So let's continue from the last software management topic. In that, we have seen how to deal with RPM and Yum that works on most of the CentOS and RPM-based Linuxes. But if you go with Debian-based Linuxes like Ubuntu, we have a different package management tool, which is apt-get, or now it's just an apt. So apt stands for Advanced Packaging Tool. It works in most of the Debian-based Linuxes, especially like Ubuntu. So if you wanted to view all the software that is installed or that is available in the list, you can go for sudo apt list. This will contact to internet and it will try to get the information from Ubuntu repositories. So as we are working on Ubuntu 22.04, the latest version. Let me try out this command with sudo. As we have logged in as a normal user, so we need to use sudo command. I'll say sudo apt and I'm going to say list. Guys, when you say list, it is going to list out all the packages that you have. So when I say sudo apt list, it will go to internet. Now this is a time-taking command. It might take a little while to display the output. So it contact to the server and show you so many packages that is available. Now inside it, if you are looking for an individual package, then you need to go for search option, whether it is available or not. Now, same way, if you wanted to view only the installed packages, then you need to repeat the command, and here you have to use hyphen hyphen install. Now, this is going to give you the list of packages that are currently installed in your system. For example, if you wanted to search a particular package, so you can use grep command and name it. I'm looking for Firefox. Now it might give you some warning at the top, ignore it. But here you see it says that Firefox is right now installed. So if you wanted to search a particular package, so you can say sudo apd install, and the name of the package will be To install a new package, you can say sudo apd install and the package name. So I'll say sudo apt install and the package name may be zsh. When I hit enter, it might try to go search it out and it will say this is the package that I wanted to install. Are you okay? If you say yes, it is going to continue connecting to Ubuntu's website. It is going to download that package and then it is going to install that package for you. So this is the way you can connect and you can install. See, instead of apt, we earlier used to have apt-get. So even that command will work over here. But to make it simple now, they have removed that apt-get option and introduced just apt, which is quite easier to work with. The same way, if you wanted to update a particular package to its later level, you can use sudo apt update, or better, you can go with sudo apt upgrade install package and the name of the package. So when you say sudo apt upgrade install and followed by the name of the package, it will upgrade the package to next level. Same way, if you wanted to do full system upgrade, so you can say sudo apt full upgrade. Now this is going to search for all the latest software. It is going to connect and install it. So you see, in my case, I'm going a little slow over here in installation. It's taking a little while to complete it. The same case, if I go for full upgrade, it is going to take at least 15 to 20 minutes or more than that, and the whole system will be upgraded to the next level. It's the same thing what we have seen in Yum. When you run Yum update, it connects to the repository and it is going to get all the latest softwares and it is going to install it. And to remove a package, you can again say sudo apt remove and the package is going to get removed. So these are few apt related commands, guys, what you can use in Ubuntu like environment or Debian like environment. So if you are working with Ubuntu, you need to go with apt list install, apt upgrade, apt remove, and apt full upgrade. It is going to take you detail. And if you want to look for information about any package, you can say sudo apt show and the package name, which will describe it and give you some information that what are the details about the package. Right. The same way you can remove it also if you wanted to remove. See, it says sudo apt remove. You can use it to remove all the packages that you don't want to use. So that's it, guys, for this session. Everyone, good morning. So in today's class, guys, we're going to talk about two topics. In the last class, we have done with actually we have done with booting procedure and recovering bootloader. We have seen firewall, cockpit. Now we'll talk about backup and restore. See, guys, when I talk about backup and restore, I'm not talking about the whole system backup. Here, I'm talking about some important things what you have and you want to take it as a backup, right? Suppose you have a directory which contains important data and you want to take the backup. So in that case, we go with personal backup and restore. For example, in this scenario, I have etc folder. The size of etc is 200 MB. Now,
To collect the backup, we generally use one utility called tar. So many other utilities are also there, but tar is very famous. So when you collect the backup in tar, it archives the data. See, what do you mean by archive? See, we have some safes, what we keep at our home, or in the bank we have lockers. So that locker and safe will be very tightly locked, and inside it we will keep whatever we wanted to keep inside it. So that is nothing but archive. So here also it gets archived closely packed. So when you arrange it properly, the size get reduced. Earlier the size was 200 MB. After reduction, it becomes 190 MB. But to store 200 MB, I need another 200 MB to store it. So guys, in that case, what I'll do is I will compress and keep the data. To store 200 MB, I don't have another 200 MB. See here in the case, I am talking about 200 MB. But let us say if I am taking the backup of 2 TB, then I require 2 TB of place to keep that backup, isn't it? So instead of that, what I'll do is I will compress, zip it. Like in Windows, we use WinZip, WinRAR. So by using that utility, the size will get reduced. To store 200 MB, I just need 20 MB after compression. Now this file, I can share it with anyone. See, extension of the file will also change. The tar will have etc tar, and zip will get one more extension, etc tar dot gzip. So 200 MB backup can be stored within just 20 MB, right? So 200 MB backup will be in 20 MB. Now you can share it with anyone you want to share it. Now when people download it, they will first need to unzip it and then untar it. You will get actual file. Let me show you practically to make it more understandable. Let me log in into our machine first of all. So let us say guys, let me reduce the font size to fit properly. This would be better. So let us say guys, I have one directory etc. When you run du-h on any directory or a file, it will show you the size of the directory. So it is showing everything present in the directory, and the last is the directory size. So if you want to see only the last line, then you can say tail-1. This will show you last line. So what is the size? 33 MB. Now this directory backup, I want to store in OPT folder. To take the backup, guys, we have a command tar-cbf, create verbose forcefully. So I'm telling create a backup, show me what is getting backup, and do it forcefully. Now, tar is very different, guys. Normally, whenever you are copying or moving, first you have to give source, then you have to give destination. In tar, first you have to declare destination, then you have to tell what to backup. So first where to backup, then what to backup. So I'll say keep the backup of this particular data in OPT with what name? Any name. Whatever you want to call it, you can call it. So in my case, I'm going to call it etc. Extension should be .tar. See, if you forgot to give that extension .tar, it is not going to work. We will have problems. So definitely you have to give .tar extension. Where to backup? What to backup? I'll say backup etc. So I'm telling tar, you create a backup file in OPT folder and backup this thing. Now when I hit enter, you see it start taking the backup. It was just 33 MB, so it happened very fast. Now if you go into OPT folder, you see the backup file is collected. If you check the size is 30 MB. We started with 33 MB. Now the size is 30 MB. Let us say I wanted to compress it. I want to reduce the size. To reduce the size, I'm going to use gzip command. Gzip and the file name. See how simple it is? Gzip file name. That's it. Now when I hit enter, you do the backup is collected and you see automatically extension change. So we have added tar, but when you zip, it automatically added gzip. If you run du-h and the file name, I'm sorry, etc.tar.gz. What's the size? 7.4. The original size was 33 MB and now we got 74 MB. At least 80%, 70% reduction will happen, definitely. Now, when you go on internet, guys, all big softwares like Oracle database or Hadoop or Nagios, the monitoring tool, all these things you have to uh, download and it will be available in this format only. If you wanted to view what is inside it, then you can say star hyphen tvs, where T stands for table of content, V for verbose, F for forceful. It will display what is present in that particular thing. So tar hyphen tvf, it will tell you what is inside it. Now, when I hit enter with the file name, it will display each and everything present inside it. So I can see what is inside it and all that thing. Now I wanted to use it. I want to extract the data. I want to bring out the data. So first you have to unzip it and then you can extract the data. To unzip, we'll say gunzip, gzip, gunzip. What is the file name? etc.tar. Do ls, automatically extension changed. You run du-h, the size is back to 30 MB. But again, it is closed archive. It is in the safe. Now to bring it out of the safe, we have to extract the data. How to extract the data? Tar hyphen xvf. See cvf create, xvf extract the data out of it. From where you want to extract the data, etc.tar. Where you want to put. See, if you don't give any destination in the current location only, it will extract the data. So here only etc directory is available. If you check the size and look for the last line, you will find the data is extracted. If you look in etc, all your data is back. So this is the way how you can collect the backup of any important file. Keep it as a backup. Whenever you need, you have to unzip and extract the data. Now, one more thing, guys, very important. Suppose I wanted to collect the backup and I want to zip it together. Tar and zip same time. So you have to say tar hyphen CVF, right? So just add Z. Z stands for zipping. Zip and create the backup. Where to keep that backup? Again in OPT. With what name? Now here both extension you have to give. If you don't give both extension, then file will spoil. So you need to give complete extension tar.gz, or there is a shortcut extension tgz. Tgz means it is tar and gzip together. Single extension you can give. Then what you want to collect the backup? etc. See, it collected the backup and now you see here is your file. Check the data du-h and you see directly 7.4 MB. Now, if you want to extract the data without disturbing original file, see, I don't want it to unzip it. Without unzipping, I want to directly bring out the data. I don't want to change original format. Keeping original format same, I want to extract the data. How to do that? You have to say tar hyphen ZXVF. From the zipped file, extract the data. So what is the original file name? hc.tg. Just hit enter, do ls. Do you see that the data is extracted? First you check original file. See, it is still 7.4 MB. And you check the directory last line. You will find that it is extracted successfully. So this is the way, guys, how you have to get the data. Either you can unzip and extract, or directly you can extract the data without unzipping by just adding Z inside it. There are many, many important big softwares that are available with that format only. So be careful that whenever you are trying to do this activity, we have to zip and collect the backup to reduce the size. Okay, so let me go for it. And now let's move to our next chapter, in which again I'm going to repeat this part one more time. The next chapter, what we are going to talk about is job scheduling or job automation. Very, very important, guys. Very important. So when we talk about job automation or job scheduling, see, it is something we use to schedule the task. Like if I wanted to plan something, suppose I'm planning to do something on Thursday night, 2 a.m. So instead of I am waking up and doing that task, I want someone to perform that task. And who can do that? That can be done by cron jobs. So there is a service in Linux which is cron jobs, which is responsible to schedule a task. So any task that you want to do on a planned basis, like we make lots of plan and we'll book the train, we'll go over there. So here also what we are doing on Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday morning, Tuesday evening, any task you want to perform, then you can plan it, you can schedule it using job automation or cron service. So with cron service, you can schedule a task to be performed only one time, or you can schedule a task to be repeated hourly basis, daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and any of your arbitrary period that you like, right? So you can schedule a task for different requirement and different time. Now there is a file etc cron tab. This file contains the cron job format. See, if you want to schedule a task, there should be a file in which you can put your task. So there is a file etc cron tab. In this file also you can put whatever task you want to perform. So you can just open this file, and in this file you can put whatever task that you are planning to execute. It will get stored over here. Okay. Or the most important thing is here it gives you the cron method or format. If you forgot how to plan a cron job, you can just come here and you can read an example and find out that what are the fields, which field means what, and all those details. So in this case, we don't go for this file for putting the cron job because only root can access it. Every user, there will be a separate file created. Suppose I have a user called Raju. So for Raju, there will be a file created in var spool cron Raju, where Raju can keep his all things. Suppose I have a user Suresh. So there will be a file var spool cron Suresh. Every user will get that particular thing, guys, where they are going to store these things. Okay. Now there are two more files, etc cron.deny and cron.allow, that is used for allowing or denying people from using cron facility. We'll discuss about that. And the logs about the cron will be stored in var log cron. So in var log cron, you will be having some information stored, what you have scheduled, whether it was successfully executed or has it failed, all that. Now, the most important part, cron tab format. How can I schedule a task? See, whenever you are scheduling a task, five important fields are required. Field number one, you have to give minutes. At what minute you want to do, 10:30, 12:30, 11:45. So first field is minutes, and minute value you can give 0 to 59. How many minutes are there in an hour, guys? 60 minutes. Seconds are not possible. You have to start with minutes only. Then the second field we have is hours. See, you have to mention the hour in 24 hours format. AM, PM will not work. You have to give it in 24 hours format only. Now, third field is day of month or simply date, guys. On which date you want to perform. See, in a month, 31 days are there. So 1 to 31, whichever date you want, you can put it like 11th of March or 12th of April, like that, right? Fourth field over here is the month. See, we know in a year we have 12 months. So you have to give 1 to 12 which month you want to perform. And I don't have to tell you guys, 1 means January, 2 means February, like that. The last field is day of week. So it will be what? Monday to Sunday. Which one? So here you have to give day of week by using the value 0 to 6. So what is that 0 to 6? Let us try to understand. If I take you to cron tab, here it explains you very beautifully. See, day of week 0 to 6. So here 0 means Sunday, 1 Monday, 2 Tuesday, 3 Wednesday, 4 Thursday, 5 Friday, and 6 Saturday. So you have to give Sunday to Saturday, like that we have to give, where Sunday will be 0 and Saturday will be 6. Now Sunday is special fellow. You can mention Sunday as 0 or 7. 0 also means Sunday, 7 also means Sunday. Now let me show you few examples, guys, and let us understand this concept very nicely. So let me take a notepad for you. See, guys, suppose I wanted to schedule some task. Let us say I want to reboot a machine. Generally, guys, we never use cron job for rebooting machine. That would be very dangerous. Just for explanation, I want to reboot a machine at 11:30 or 11:40 a.m. On which date? On 6th September. Even year you cannot give. Whatever we want to plan, you have to plan this year only. 2 years later, next year later is not possible. In this year only, we have to do anything. So, how I have to put this? See, first field, I have to put minutes. How many minutes I am asking? 40 minutes. So, I'll say 40 minutes. Single space between two fields are enough. How many hours? 11 a.m. If it is 11 p.m., I'll give 23. 11 a.m. 40 minutes past 11 a.m. On which particular date? What is the day of month I am asking? 6th. So I'll say 6th. 6th of which month? So day of month and then month. Month means September. September means what should I give? See, I have to give 10th. Sorry, 9th. Then which day I'm asking? I'm asking for today. What is today, guys? It is Tuesday, right? So Tuesday means it should be what? 2. 1 means Monday, 2 means Tuesday, 3 means Wednesday. So I'm telling 40 minutes past 11 hours on 6th September, that should come on Tuesday. What you want to do? See, on this time, I want to run reboot command. So on your given date time, reboot command will get executed. So guys, you don't have to worry about this. When the time happens, automatically it will run. We don't reboot the machine like that, guys. It's only for explanation purpose. Now, let us say I want to create a directory in OPT folder with the name cron, whatever. At what time? Maybe I wanted to do it by 12:30 p.m. on 6th September or any date. So I'll say 30 minutes, 12 p.m. See, if it is 12 a.m., I'll use 0. 0 means 12 a.m. night. Here I'm asking about day. So I'll give 12 p.m. 30 minutes past 12 p.m. Daytime, noon time. On which date? Again 6th. 6th of which month? September. And what is the day on that? Tuesday. What you want to do? Create a directory. How to create directory? mkdir. Way to create in OPT. With what name? Cron. So on the given date and time, this will get executed. Now let us say by mistake, instead of Tuesday, I have given Thursday. So I told 30 past 12 a.m. On 6th September, it should be Thursday. Now, guys, this year it is never going to get executed. Now, it will wait. It will wait for 6th September to come on Thursday. Now, this year, 6th September is on Tuesday. Maybe next year it will be on Wednesday. 2 years later, it would come on Thursday. So it will get executed 2 years later. See, silly small mistakes can make your task executed on some other time, but not the time what you are looking for. So be very careful. Now, let us say I am very much strict about 6th September. I don't care which day it is on that. It can be Monday to Thursday, anything. I just want it to be 6th September. So when you are strict about the date, the best thing you can do is you can skip the day. You can say it can be any day of the week. I don't really care. It can be anything Monday to Friday, don't ask me. So it can be anything on 6th September, the task will be executed. So whenever you are looking for date, you can ignore the day by giving star. Star means any possible day. Now, moving forward, let's say I want to run the script. See, the real use of cron job is to execute the scripts. We have application scripts, we have database scripts, you have middleware scripts like Tomcat, JBoss, or any monitoring scripts. I want to execute those scripts, guys. Application script like SAP ADM or anything. So I have a script, guys. The script is run, let's say mon.sh, some script. Run that script on maybe 2:30 p.m. on any date, 6th September. So how can I put that? 30 minutes, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. means 14. If you give 2, it becomes 2 a.m. night. Here I'm asking 2 p.m. 2 p.m. means 14 hours, right? 30 minutes past 14 hours, right? On which date you want to perform this task? On 6th of September. It can be any day. I don't care. What you want to do? Run the script mon.sh. So on the given date and time, automatically the script like that will be executed for you. Now let us say same script I want to run on multiple dates. So suppose I want to run this particular script, right, at 2:30 p.m. or maybe I want to run it on 3:15 p.m. On what dates? Now I have multiple dates. It should be run on 6th, it should be run on 8th, and it should be run on 10th September. Three dates I wanted to mention. See, instead of putting three lines, in a single line, I can put three dates. How? You can say 15 minutes. 3 p.m. means 15 hours. 15 minutes past 15 hours, right? On what date? Now I don't have a single date. I have multiple date. So you have to say 6, comma 8, comma 9, 3 days, right? Or 10. Of which month? The month is September 9. It can be any possible date. What you want to do? I want to execute mon.sh. So on the given date and time, this is the way how I can run multiple dates on a single line. Now let us say I have a range of dates. Suppose I have same thing, right? And maybe I want to do it at 4:30 p.m. and I have a range between 6 to 12 September. How can I give this thing? See, I have to give 4. 4 p.m. means 16. 16, sorry, 30 minutes past 16 hours. I'm sorry. First minutes, then hour. 30 minutes past 16 hours on which date? Now I have 6 to 12. One thing you can do 6 comma 7 comma 8 comma 9 comma like that you can give, or there is a shortcut 6 dash 12. So from 6th till 12th of which month? September. Obviously it can be any day. What you want to do? Execute any XYZ scripts you have. So like that you can give the range also. Now suppose I have two different range. For similar thing, I have two different range. Let us say I want to execute some other script xyz.sh at 5:45 p.m. on two different range of date. First is 6 to 12 and 15 to 21 September. Now how can I give two different ranges here? See guys, again, what is the minute it is asking? It is 45 minutes. Past how many hours? 17 hours. If it is AM, you have to give 5. If it is PM, 17. Now, two ranges are there. First range is 6 to 12, comma. Second range is 15 to 21. Of which month? September. It can be any possible. What script you want to execute? xyz.sh. So this is the way, guys, how we can go for this particular concept also, right? Now, let us see one more important thing. Let's say, guys, I want one task to be performed. Maybe a script is there. So I want to run, maybe some backup script is there. I want to run backup script. Maybe bkp.sh. I want to execute it every Saturday at 11:45 p.m. How to schedule it? 45 minutes past 23 p.m. is 23. 45 minutes past 23 hours. Now it can be any date because I'm not concerned about the date. I'm concerned it should be Saturday. So I'll say it should be any date, it should be any month, it should be mandatorily Saturday. See, I'm not caring about which date it is, which month it is, but it should be Saturday. So every Saturday, 11:45 p.m., I want this bkp.sh to be executed. Now let us say, guys, I have one more interesting thing. Suppose I have a performance monitoring script which I want to run every 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes I want to run. It doesn't matter which date, which hour, which month it is. Every 15 minutes it should be run. So how to give this particular task? See, you can say 15. 15 minutes, any hour, any date, any month, doesn't matter. And it can be any day also. My requirement is every hours 15 minutes. What is the script? Perfmon.sh. Now guys, in this case, Do you think it will be executed every 15 minutes? Absolutely not, guys. Here it is 15 minutes of every hour. So it would be like 6:15, then 7:15, then 8:15, then 9:15. I don't want it to be every hour's 15 minutes. I want every 15 minutes of an hour. So in that case, you can use */15. So I'm telling execute this particular thing every 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes, 9:15, 9:30, 9:45, 10. 10:15, 10:30, 10:45, 11. Like that, it is going to get executed. So guys, these are few of the basic things what we have to understand, right? Now, let's go ahead and let's do practicals to understand this concept very well. See, I have already explained you what is the role of star. */5 means every arbitrary period. Suppose if you wanted to do the same task every 2 hours. So in that case, what you can do, you can say star, but here */2. So every 2 hours the task will perform. Every 15 days you wanted to perform. Every 2 months you want to perform. Like that, you can use that star field to use this concept as per your requirement, any calculated values you have. Now, cron tab also have some commands. Cron tab -e, it's a beautiful command that will edit your cron tab file, or it will create a new file if it doesn't exist already. I'll explain you in a short while what is that. Cron tab -l, guys, will display what task you have scheduled. Cron tab -r will remove the cron tab file at all. Cron tab -u, this will allow root user to control other users' work. Say as a root, I can put my nose into others' work. So as a root, I can check what other user has scheduled. I can modify other people's schedule, or I can even remove other people's work also by saying cron tab -ue, cron tab -lu, cron tab -ru, EU, LU, RU. So I'll tell you how to work. See, I have logged in as root user. Who am I? I'm root. Now, as a root, I'm the most powerful user. So as a root, guys, I can run cron tab -l. It says there is no cron tab file. Why is it telling like that? Because in var spool mail, sorry, not mail, var spool and cron. You see there is no name available for root. So root does not have a file. That's the reason it says there is no cron tab file. If you don't want it to maintain a separate file for root, you can put a roots thing in etc cron tab. Here also you can mention, no problem. But I want root to have a separate file, every user to have a separate file. To create a fresh file, or to exist the or to edit the existing file, you can say cron tab -e. When you say, guys, cron tab -e and you open the file, see this file will be a new file for you where you can put anything. See, guys, I'll put a comment. See, any line starting with hash in a configuration file is a comment. So I'll put a comment. I'll say this is a root cron file, something. Let me save and quit. Now, guys, if you say cron tab -l, see it is printing that value what you have kept. Go to var spool cron and you see there will be a file created for root user. Now let us say, guys, I wanted to execute a task after couple of seconds, after couple of minutes maybe. See, I wanted to print a message on my screen. How can I print a message on my screen? You can use echo command. Echo is very much same like a printf command in C. So echo will repeat whatever you say. Echo hi, or you say echo by, it repeats. So for printing anything in scripts, we generally use echo command, right? And I want to display that output on my screen. This is my screen address, dev PTS 0. See, whenever you say who, it tells you what is your terminal address. To see complete address, TTY. So guys, I want to print a message on my screen after a couple of minutes on Tuesday, September 6th at 11:53. I want one message to be printed. So I'll go to cron tab hyphen E. I'll open a new line. See, first is minutes, 53 minutes. 11 a.m. So I have to give 11 only. If it is PM, I have to give 23. 53 minutes after 11 a.m. Then what is the date? 6th. On which month? September. It can be any possible day, right? Now, what you want to do? See, I wanted to say echo and a message. What message? My cron job, right? And this message I want to send, redirect to dev PTS 0. So I'm telling 53 minutes past 11 a.m. on 6th September, which can be any day, run this command and send the output on this terminal. So let me save and quit. Now you check it out, guys. We still have some time remaining. Meanwhile, you must check the status of cron D services. See, cron D services are responsible for cron. If the service is not active, the task will fail. Suppose electricity is not there. You are taking a remote control of AC and trying to power on and power off. Will it work? No. So first electricity should be there, then AC will work. So here first the service of cron must be running, then only cron will get executed. So cron services are running. Great. Now you check the date. We still have couple of seconds remaining. See, if you want to reduce the timeout, go back and instead of 53, maybe you can make 52. That's the correction what I did. So as soon as it is 11:52, a message will be printed. So you see, the message is printed, my cron job. So this is the way we can put any task of your choice, whatever you want to put. Now moving forward, guys, let us say I wanted to create a directory in OPT folder with the name cron dir. When? After a couple of minutes or any desired time. So suppose I'll say at 11:54, I want a directory to be created. So I'll go with cron tab hyphen E. See, if this task is not completed, don't disturb, take a new line. And I'll say 54 minutes past 11 hours on 6th of September. It can be any possible day. I want to create a directory where in OPT folder with the name crondir. Now let me save and quit. Now if you run date command, we still have couple of seconds remaining. Do ls not created. Date, check the date, do ls. See guys, instead of running date command, ls command, you can use another command called watch. Say watch command to monitor OPT. So whenever you run watch command, it repeats the other command every 2 seconds. So you see every 2 seconds, lsopt command will be automatically executed. And here the time is also displayed. So in OPT, there are only two files. Now, as soon as it is 11:54, one more directory must be added. So every 2 seconds, automatically lsopt command will be executed. So last 9 seconds, 7 seconds, 5 seconds, 3 seconds. You see, as soon as it is 11:54, you see a directory has been added. So how beautiful it is. You are putting something and it is executing. To check the status of your task, you can also view the log var log cron, and here it can tell you what got executed. So at 11:54 past 1 second, this command was executed. If it is failed, it will tell you failed. And who edited the file, what was being replaced, or you did nothing, All that information will be available over here. Now let's create one script, guys. Let me go to slash and I'll create one script. Let us call the script as bkp.sh. Maybe I want to take the backup. So guys, when we go to a script, the script always start with a statement which is called as shebang statement or shebang statement, whatever you call it. So shebang statement actually starts with hash and exclamation. So these two are called as shebang, and then I'm telling which shell to use. See, we can run the script on different Unixes or Linux. So I'm telling it that always use bash shell to run that script. Now I'll put a message. I told you to put a message, I'll use echo command. So echo, I'll say backup of etc starting, right? And then I'll run actual command. See, we learn how to take the backup. I'll say tar zcvf zip and create the backup, right? Where to store it? In opt or any location of your choice. With what name? Auto etc.tgz, for example. So I'm telling create and keep the backup in opt with this name. What you want to backup? etc. Then after a couple of time, once the task is completed, I wanted to give a message. What message? Echo backup completed. See, real script will have more logics inside it. Here I'm creating a simple script just to make you understand how to put a script into cron job. Done. That's it. Nothing else I wanted to give out over here. After that, let me save and quit. Now, the most important thing is, guys, whenever you are planning to execute the script must have execute permission. If you go back to our permission classes in the Unix basics parts or Linux basic commands part, we have understood that every script requires execute permission. And we know how to apply execute permission. You can say chmod plus x. Plus x means for everyone, user also, group also, others also. For everyone, give execute permission, right? What is the file name? The file name is bkp.sh. Now go back and check it out. You see execute permissions are given. Now I'm going to put the script into our cron job. So what time you want to execute? It's 11:57, maybe at 11:59 I want this task to be executed. So I'll go cron tab hyphen E. Don't disturb if the tasks are not finished. If it is finished, you can reuse it, that line. Anyway, I'll say 59 minutes past 11 a.m. on 6th of September, any possible day. How to run the script? Just give the path of the script. See, this much is something where we will stop. This is exactly how we put scripts into cron job. But guys, I'm going to add one more thing here, which is not required in real scenarios or real world. What is that? I want to see the output also. See guys, I'm telling whatever the script is getting executed, display on my screen. Guys, do you think at midnight 3 a.m. when you have scheduling the script, someone will be available to view it? So adding this thing is useless in real scenarios. I'm just adding to show you how the script will execute. So please don't add this thing in your real scenarios. So let me save and quit. Now let's check the date. Still, we have couple of seconds remaining. Just 5 more seconds, 2 more seconds. Now you see the script will get executed. So script got executed. I got a message that backup completed. Now, if you look in OPT folder, see auto etc.tgz has been completed, right? So this is the way, guys, how we can actually plan to go for this particular concepts. Okay, so this is how the script can also be executed. Now, moving forward, guys, Other users, they also wanted to execute the task. If you go into etc password, so many users are there. My name user is there, u1, u2, u3. Suppose my name user, Musab user, wants to execute something. So let me log in as Musab user. And as Musab user, if I say cron tab hyphen L, there is no cron tab. Why? Because in var spool cron, oh, as a normal user, I cannot view this location. So as a root, if I check it out, there is no file for Musab. So if Musab wants to create his own file, he has to say cron tab hyphen E. And with this power, this user can add something. For example, I'll say 55 minutes past 18 hours. Okay, what happens if I give wrong hour? I have to give 18 hours. I have given 28 hours. See, maximum 24 is allowed. There is no 28 hour. What will happen? I'll show you. 55 minutes. I have to give 18 hours. I have given 28 hours. On 7th October, it can be any day. I want to create a directory in my home directory. Tilt represents home directory. So in my home directory, I want to create a directory with the name called mydir, right? Now, if I try to save it with errors, it will stop you and it will tell you bad hour. So in place of hours, you have given a mistake. Do you want to retry? I'll say yes, I want to retry. I'll find, oh, here is the mistake and let me correct it. So any field, if you do mistake, it will not allow you to save it. It will stop and tell you where you have done a mistake. Now, if you run cron tab hyphen L, you see the task has been successfully added. Now, as a root, can I view my Musab's work? Yes. So as a root, you have to say cron tab hyphen lu. See, root is superpower. With superpower, you can interfere anybody's work. So you can say cron tab hyphen lu and the name of the user. So it displays. Oh, I saw. As a root, can I edit his file? Of course. You just need to say cron tab hyphen eu. Edit it. So when you go for it, here you can do necessary correction. Maybe I wanted to make it 19 hours. Save and quit. Now you check, change happened. As Musab user, yes, earlier it was 18, now it is 19. So like that, as a root, we can edit somebody else's work, or even we can remove somebody else's work also. Now, let us say I want to restrict Musab user not to have cron facility. I decided that Musab should not be allowed to do cron. As of now, he can say cron tab hyphen E, cron tab hyphen L, no stopping. So if you want to block any user from cron, go and edit a file etc. See, when I press double tap, you will find cron.deny, right? So go and edit this file and put the name of the user that you want to block. Now come back and say cron tab hyphen L. So you see it says you, Musab, are not allowed to use this program. If I say cron tab hyphen E, still I'm not allowed to use cron, right? But as a root, you can definitely do that. As a normal user, you're not allowed to. If I remove the name, delete the line, save and quit. Now come back, who am I? Musab user. Say cron tab hyphen L, cron tab hyphen E. I'm able to do that. Now, suppose guys, I have 20 user or 25 user. Out of 25 users, 5 users I want to give access. 20 users I want to block. So how to block 20 users out of 25 users? One way, go to etc cron.deny and put 20 users name. Okay, 20 users name I have put it. Suppose 70 users are there. 65 users you want to block. Then will you put 65 names? Possible. but how tedious task it would be. It would be very lengthy and boring. To make it interesting, guys, what you can do, instead of adding 65 names in cron.deny, create one more file, etc cron.allow. In cron.allow, put 5 names. Automatically, 65 names will be blocked. See, in cron.allow, put only the names that you want to allow. Automatically, remaining users will get blocked out. So you add 5 names, only 5 names will be allowed. 65 names will be automatically blocked out. So this is the real beauty of cron.allow. But guys, you see, cron.deny was already there. Why it is asking me to create allow manually? Deny was there by default. Allow it is asking me to create. What is the reason why it is asking allow to create? Listen to me very carefully over here. If you have an empty cron dot allow, see, this kind of questions might be triggered in your interviews as well, that I'm planning to add or I'm planning to schedule a task as a user and I'm getting denial message. Why? So maybe in cron.deny that name is there. So you said I check cron.deny, still that name is not there. Why I am blocked? The reason is in cron.allow that name might not be there. Or there is one more situation. No user in the system is allowed to do cron. Why? Because an empty cron.allow file exists. So when you have an empty cron.allow file, there is nothing inside it. It's an empty file. I'll just save and quit. I'll put nothing. So you see, I have etc cron.allow, nothing is there inside it. If I try to do a cron task, cron tab -l, it says you're not allowed. Maybe I'll log in as some other user. Suppose I'm going to log in as this user, U2 user. Who am I? U2. As U2 also, if you run the command, it says no. So guys, if an empty cron.allow file exists, no user in the system, no user in the system will be allowed to run cron tasks. Only the name what you mention here. Let me re-edit the file and let me put the name Musab. Save and quit. Come back to Musab user. Who am I? Musab. As Musab, if you say cron tab -l, cron tab -e, you're allowed to work. But still, you go to other user like U2. You run cron tab -l, cron tab -e, it won't. So only the names which is mentioned in allow will be allowed and automatically rest of the users will be blocked. Let us say by mistake in allow and deny, both places I have mentioned same name. So scenario is I have etc cron dot allow, which is telling allow, and cron dot deny, which is telling deny, right? So allow says allow, deny says deny. Whose the system will listen? Will it allow Musab or will it deny Musab? So guys, if you come here as Musab, who am I? I'm Musab. And here, if I say cron tab -l, will it allow me or deny me? Allow me or deny me? It will allow. See guys, whenever there are two files, allow and deny, always allow will have more power. Allow will have higher precedence over deny, right? So whenever allow and deny is there, always allow is going to take the more power. Deny is going to lose. So whether you put the name in deny or not, it is not going to work. That's the reason only deny file was there. When allow comes, allow take over everything, right? So that is the power of allow file. Now lastly, if you wanted to delete your cron file, see, one of the tasks if you want to remove, you can just come to this file, delete one line, and that task is deleted. right? Overall, 400 tasks is the limit of cron. So at a time, it can go for 400 tasks. So if it is cross, you have to you have to remove previous task and put new task. So suppose I want to destroy my cron tab. I don't need cron tab at all. So you can go to var spool cron and you can remove your file. Or you can say cron tab hyphen r. See, as a user, if you run cron tab hyphen r, it deletes your file. So as a root, I ran the command, root file is deleted. If musab runs the command, musab files will be deleted. As a root, you can delete musab's file also. You can say cron tab hyphen ru and remove that particular file. For which particular thing? For musab user. Now go back and check it out. That user is also deleted. So this is the whole concept about cron job, which is very, very important, guys. Very, very important for most of the streams, guys. If you look, it is useful not only for your Linux environment, it is available in Unix environment. If you go for cloud computing like AWS, Azure, or Google or any cloud, even there also scheduling is there, and almost the same options you will find over there. So if you understand the logic here, it is going to be beneficial in most of the places. Cloud computing, DevOps, so many places are there where this particular concept is going to be very, very crucial. I hope you have learned a really important topic today, and it will be beneficial for you in the coming time, and we'll come back for more in the next sessions. Thank you very much, guys.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to Gotham IT Solutions. My name is Musab, and I'll your trainer in Gotham IT Solutions for Linux. Now, in this chapter, we are going to learn a very interesting concept called swap space management, one of the very, very critical thing to manage to keep your system running smooth and fine. Now, in this chapter, we are going to talk about what is swap space, what is the utilization of swap space, and the commands associated with swap space. Now, in order to understand the swap, first we have to understand what is the role of RAM. See, we maintain a component called RAM, random access memory, in Linux. What is the role of RAM? See, RAM is utilized to execute a process. Any process which you want to execute must be present in RAM. No process can be executed outside of RAM. So any process that you want to run, it must be present inside RAM. That's the role of RAM, right? Now, imagine that if the RAM is completely filled up, then what will happen? If you don't pay attention towards it, then the system may run very slow, and in some cases, it may crash and reboot. So to avoid that kind of thing, we maintain swap concept. I'll explain you what exactly swap is. Before I can explain you what is swap, let me finish talking about what would be the size of swap that will be maintained. So basically, swap is a partition that we create in our hard disk to support RAM. So what size of the partition should be to support the RAM? Swap is directly proportional to RAM. Whatever size the RAM is, according to that, we have to create a swap. So if your RAM is around 4 GB, then minimum 2 GB swap is to be maintained. If your RAM is between 4 to 16 GB, minimum 4 GB swap has to be maintained. If your RAM is between 16 to 64 GB, minimum 8 GB swap has to be maintained. If your RAM is 64 to 256 GB, minimum 16 GB swap has to be maintained. If your RAM is between 256 to 512 GB, minimum 32 GB swap has to be maintained. Same way, if your RAM is up to 1 TB, at least 64 GB swap has to be maintained. Normally, people will go twice of RAM. Suppose if your RAM is less,
maybe it is just 2 GB, 4 GB, 8 GB, then you'll see people will go twice of RAM, double the size of RAM. They'll go for 4 GB, 8 GB, or 16 GB. But when your RAM is very, very big, then we'll go for recommended swap space. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing and let's understand that what exactly swap does. As I told you, that you are having a RAM. Let us say the size of the RAM is 1 GB, 1024 MB, for example. Now, in this 1024 MB, let us say 1000 MB is already utilized by different set of processes. So there are many, many processes which are sitting inside the RAM, and it occupied around 1000 MB of capacity. Out of 1024 MB, if 1000 MB is gone, how much you are left with? We are left with just 24 MB, right? So you are having only 24 MB RAM space available. Now, in this situation, you are planning to start a new process. Now, this new process can be anything. It can be the script you are running. It can be the application you are starting. It can be a browser you are opening. It can be a video player you are opening, whatever. So you are just trying to run a new process, and this new process requires at least 40 MB of RAM. Now you are having only 24 MB and your process requires 40 MB of capacity. Now availability is 24, requirement is 40. Do you think in this case your RAM can take up this new process or that new process can be started? Definitely not. Even if you try your hardest, the whole RAM will get filled up, and then to free the RAM, kernel panic will start and it will crash your system. See, if you're working on your personal laptop and desktop, if it crashes, it may not be a big problem. But just imagine on production environment, if the system suddenly crashes, then it is very, very bad and it's not a great situation. Customers are not going to like that. So how can we avoid this situation? Just think one thing. Do you think in the RAM all the time, all the processes will be active? Definitely not. There might be many, many processes that might not be active. They're just waiting. Maybe you started an application and you left it behind. You're not using it. So your application will go into standby mode. So there might be many processes that would be standby, sitting idle, not in use. Now, when you have a processes which is standby, not in use, why to keep them inside RAM and engage it? They are waiting, isn't it? So can't they wait at some other place? Yes. So that place where all your inactive processes can be waiting is nothing but your swap space. So in your hard disk, you create a special partition to move the inactive processes where they can wait. Now let me tell you one thing. The processes which comes to swap will be in inactive mode. No process can be executed in swap. Swap is not a substitute to RAM. It's just a support to RAM. How? It supports the RAM by taking inactive processes. That's it. No process can really be executed inside swap space. Okay, so it's just a support. Assume there is an interview going on. Now, all candidates who came for attending interview will not be sent directly into interviewer's room. There will be a waiting area, waiting hall in which they will be waiting. So that is same like swap. If RAM is too much busy, all inactive processes will be moved out to swap so that RAM can be free and it can be used by only active processes, and the performance of your system should be maintained nicely. Now, whenever a process goes out of the RAM, we call this thing as swap out. And whenever the process comes back to the RAM, again, if it wants to get executed or activated, it needs to come back to RAM. So whenever the process goes out, we call it as swap out. And whenever it comes back to the RAM, we call it as swap in. At the time of execution, at the time of execution, at the time of execution, it is going to be very, very important. We need to check it out that how much swap in and swap out activities are going on. Too high swap in and swap out activities are not good for the health of the system, right? So if there are too high swap in and swap out activities going on, then we need to check whether swap is enough or not. If swap is not enough, try expanding swap. You have already expanded swap, but still it did not help the condition. Then we need to finally go for upgrading RAM, because you remember swap is not the substitute to RAM. It cannot take place of RAM. If expanding swap is also not helping you, then you need to expand RAM finally. But in most of the cases, the load will be spiking. Sometimes it will be high, sometimes it will be low. So it can be easily managed with the help of swap. But always swap in, swap out is not good. So in that case, you must go for this particular concept. All right. Now, let me show you that how we can work with swap spaces in a Linux machine. So in my case, I took a Red Hat Linux machine or CentOS machine in which I wanted to show you how to work. Almost the concept of swap is same in every Linux. So in order to check the status of swap and RAM, you can go for free command. When you run free command, it shows you what is the memory, what is the swap, and its usage. But this is showing in KB. If you want to view the same thing in MB, then you have to go with free-m. It is going to show you the output in megabytes. But if you want to view it in gigabytes, then you have to go with free-g. But best of all, my favorite is free-h, which shows you the output in human readable format. So it is displaying about memory and swap, how much memory you have, how much is used, how much is free. Now, what is shade? Sometimes two processes access the same area of memory, which is called as shade memory. And to boost the performance of your system, sometimes some amount of RAM is reserved for buffer or cache, right? So total available is 3 gigs. Actual available is 2.7 gigs. 2.7 plus 522 is total available space. So real free space is 2.7 only. This we have to concentrate. And you see the swap, it says 4 GB swap is there. Nothing is used. Entire 4 GB is free. Now, assume that there is a situation where your swap is completely filled up. One more thing, if you want to see the details about swap, then you can go for one more concept that is called as swap on -s. When you run swap on -s, it is going to show you the usage of your swap. So it is going to tell you that the name is SDA3, the type is partition, size is this much, and priority is -2. All swap will have negative priority, -2, -3, -4, like that. Now, one more time, if I run free-h, you see the memory is 3 gigs, swap is 4 gigs. So almost they are similar, there's no problem, but memory is utilized and swap is completely free. Perfect. But there might be a situation where swap is getting filled up. If the swap is close to filled up, what you will do? See, in this case, you need to expand the swap. See, first immediate thing what we can do is expanding swap. Now, if you see swap on -s, it says SDA3 partition is working as swap. Now, the problem is expanding the size of the partition has some limitation. So let's say expanding the size of partition, let's assume that expanding the size of partition is not possible. So what you can do if you want to expand the swap? Now the situation is swap is getting filled up and you need to expand the swap. So the only thing what you can do is check in your hard disk, do you have space remaining or not? So you see I have four partitions, out of which the fourth partition is extended. So I hope you know that there are three primary partition, one extended, and inside it there will be logical partitions. Parted-L can tell you. So we have five partitions, out of which three are primary, one is extended, and one is logical. So logical is actually created inside extended. So if you run again fdisk-L, you see that total capacity in extended is 4 GB, utilized is 500. That means still 3.5 MB is free. So what I need to do is I need to go into fdisk, create one more partition and use it as a swap. I hope you know how to create partitions. If not, then you can go with our other videos to understand this concept well. So I'll go to fdisk and I'll go into dev SDA hard disk. Inside it, I'm going to print the partition table to view the output of the partitioning. We'll say N to create a new partition and we'll match the sector. As you see, the value on left hand side is matching with right hand side, so nothing has to be done, just hit enter. What size of swap you want to add? Partition. So I'm going to say add maybe 1 GB, or you can go with 10 GB, 50 GB as per your requirement. Print the table and see SDA's sixth partition has been added successfully. Now, this partition has been created as a normal regular partition. Are we going to use this partition for a normal regular purpose? Definitely not. We are planning to use it for swap partition. So what to be done? You need to change the type of the partition from a normal Linux to Linux swap so that it can be used as swap. To change the type of the partition, we need to type T. It asks which partition you are changing. I'll say sixth. Now, what should be the code of the partition? See, if you don't know the code number, you can type L, small l or capital L. When you hit enter, over here you can see that the code is 82 for Linux swap. So just type that number 82 to make it compatible with Linux swap. If you don't do that, then it won't work perfectly as a swap and we might have some problems. So to avoid that, it is always recommended that you change the type of the partition to what you're planning to use. So in our case, I have changed it successfully to swap. Now let me save and quit. To come out of fdisk utility, we'll type W, that will save the changes and exist. Now, if you run fdisk-L, you see your sixth partition is added and it is going to work as swap. Now, so far, it is just an empty partition. Suppose you wanted to format it with swap. So you need to use a command mkswap and the partition name. When you run that command, it format the partition with swap file system that can hold processes inside it. Now, if I run mkswap on the partition dev sda6, what we have created recently. So you see it says the size is 1024 MB and the UUID that can be used in FSTab is also created. Fantastic. Now the partition is created. What's the next step to do? See, if it is a normal partition, you will format it and then you will mount and unmount. But in swap, we don't call it as mount or unmount. We call it as activating the swap or deactivating the swap. To use a swap, activate it. To not use the swap, deactivate it. How can I activate and deactivate the swap? You have to go with swap on and swap off, right? So what I'm going to do now, I'll simply come back and first I'll check free hyphen H and swap on hyphen S. So you see still the swap is 4 GB and only SDA3 is being utilized as your swap partition, right? Now I'll activate it. To activate it, I'll say swap on slash dev SDA3. Now, oh, I'm so sorry. It is SDA6. It's already active. 3. Now, if I go with free hyphen H, you see the capacity earlier was 4 GB, which is now grown to 5 GB. Go with swap on hyphen S, and you see SDA6 is also added, and the priority is -3. First -2 fellow will filled up, then -3 fellow will get filled up. Fantastic. If you want to deactivate it, then you have to go with swap off slash dev SDA6. Check back the free status and swap on status. You'll see the capacity is back to 4 GB and only SDA3 is being utilized as a swap partition. Now, if you want to activate swap as a permanent thing, see, if I activate it now by using swap on, it is not guaranteed that after reboot again it will get activated. Now it will be activated and after reboot it will get deactivated. So every time the system restart, I don't want to manually activate the swap. I want the swap to get automatically activated during the boot. So in order to do that, you have to go with fdisk utility. First of all, I'm going to find what is the unique user ID of this partition. So let me copy this ID. You know how to copy the IDs on putty? On putty, if you just select it, it will get copied. And to paste it, you have to do right click and it get pasted out. Anyway, now I'll go to etc fs tab. To open the fs tab in VI editor, I'll press Shift G to go to the last line. Then I'll open a new line over here. I'll say O and let me paste it. Then second field, I hope you're aware that FS tab have 6 fields. Field number 1, the ID, name of the partition. Field number 2, you have to give mount point. See, for the special partitions who don't have a mount point, like swap, you can type either swap as a mount point, or the best way you can type is none. None means there is no mount point for it. Then what type of file system have you used here? I have used swap file system. What is the mount options you want to give? I want to give defaults. No dumping, no FSCK. Again, if you are not aware of these 6 fields of FS tab, please do visit our page and find out the video related to partitioning to understand more about it. Now let me save and quit. All the entries have been added. Now it's time to test whether the entry is working fine or not. As of now, if I say free-h, it still says 4 GB. If I go with swap-on-s, it still says that only SDA3 is active and used as a swap. To test automatic activation of swap, you can use a command swap-on-a. When you run swap-on-a, it will go to FS tab. In FS tab, it will find out all the entries that are related to swap. All entries of swap will get activated. Now let me hit enter, go back with free-h. Automatically, earlier it was 4 GB, now it is showing 5 GB. Why? Because last time only SDA3 was only partition that was active, and here you see the partition that is active is 5 GB. So this is the way you can create a swap, or you can add more swap to take the overall load. Now the load of swap will be shared between SDA3 and SDA6.
both are going to work out and they are going to share the load, right? That's how the swap will be working. And it's very critical. If you don't pay attention and the whole RAM and swap is filled up, then your system may crash, and that's not good for the production environment. Finally, if you want to remove the swap what you have added, maybe I have added an extra swap which is not needed. So if you want to get rid of it, step number one, you must deactivate the swap. So I'll say swap off slash dev sda6. Now you run swap on command. There is no sda6. Run free-h, it's back to 4 GB. Step number two, which you should never ever forget, go to etc fs tab and delete the entry related to swap what you have added. What happens if I don't remove that entry? At next boot, the system will try to find that partition with this ID. As the partition is deleted, ID is not found. There is a huge chance that at next boot, the system may hang at one place and it would ask you to go into emergency mode to fix it. Not to have unnecessary boot issues, it is better to get rid of the IDs or the entries which is not in use in FS tab. So whenever you are planning to delete a partition, do not forget to remove associated ID from FS tab. So let me delete that line DD. Let's save and quit. Now, as you have removed or deactivated the swap partition and removed the entry from FS tab, you can now go to fdisk and delete the partition. To delete the partition, you can say D, the partition number 6, print the table, and yes, it is deleted. Type W to save and quit. That's it. This is all about your swap partition. I hope you have learned a very interesting and a very important point today, and many important concepts related to swap might have cleared. Do come back to Gotham IT's page to learn more and more important topics like that. Thank you very much to visit Gotham IT. Have a nice day.